project people-led development process from 2015 to 2018. For 6 years, she was part of the Korea-based Asian Youth Academy, a global movement to build youth leadership for sustainability. She also represented India and participated in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals summer school conducted in Mexico City, which provided training for disaster risk management of earthquakes. She was a researcher in the project titled Kerala Flood Recovery Project, Response and Recovery, Case Studies on Building Disaster Resilience in 2018. Ms. Adna Roni has conducted many international and national webinars, digital conclave on innovations in teaching and learning, a global perspective, and also on food security, small-scale farmers and COVID-19, an Asian perspective. She has tried to incorporate innovative teaching learning practices which are more learner-centric. She is a very successful lady with almost 10 years of experience with the civil society, and we are truly grateful to have such a renowned person among us today. Taking much of the time, I would like to invite Ms. Anna Roni to deliver her valuable words. Ma'am, the stage is all yours. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Risya, for such a wonderful welcoming. And good afternoon, one and all. It's my great pleasure to be part of this webinar series and being in the second day and third session. And I would like to thank Sister Sheila, the IQAC coordinator of Don Bosco College, and also Dr. Dinu sir of Marian College, who is the IQAC coordinator. And it is my great privilege to share my few experiences on experiential based learning. So I will be showing your PPT, so kindly please wait, let me share the PPT. Please let me know whether you are able to see the screen. Can somebody please respond? Hello? Am I audible to you all? Can somebody please respond in the chat box?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, all right, fine, thank you. So my topic for today is on experiential learning. And one single line that I would like to stress is, our life is full of experiences. We, directly or indirectly, we try to put it in our consciousness. We all go through strings of moments in our life. Daily we go through a lot of moments. And there are many things that we take into our life, and there are many things that we put away from our life. And coming through the academic space, we have different choices to make experiences. As an educator, as a student, as a researcher, as a person working in and out of the country, there are different ways of choosing our experiences. So coming to my point, we are going to know about the learner engagement through the blending of experiential learning in and off-campus learning. And here I am taking one of the case study of a farm planning workshop, which I took for the agricultural economics students from the Department of Economics of Marian College, Kutikanam. We took the students for a training program with the local self-government, and we gave them an experiential learning theory in practical field. And I would like to share my experiences from that, as well as all of you know about the call-based theory, ELT theory of experiential learning theory. So I would like to say some of the learning styles and learning spaces, and what are the tips to remember from the ELT theory of David A. Cole. So this will be the content of my presentation. And coming to the cycle of experiential learning, there are 4 basic steps, which goes through like a cycle, and it is more of like a process than which is more of outcome. So in this process, you can see the first stage starts with experience, and the second stage starts with reflection, and the third we generalize, and the fourth we apply. So keep this cycle of experiential learning in your mind. So we will be going through different theoretical knowledge as well. So what is experiential learning? It is a philosophy and methodology in which educators purposefully engage with students in direct experience and focused reflection in order to increase knowledge, develop skills, and clarify values. So, this is a common definition. And what all are the contents in it? It is also referred to as learning through action, learning by doing, learning through experience, and learning through discovery and exploration. And we know that most of the geniuses that have successfully come out from this world have experienced, have discovered, have explored all throughout their lives. So the importance of experiential learning is so important. When we go through the 450 BC, the statement by Confucius, some of the maxims say so. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. And Benjamin Franklin in 1750, tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I will learn. How beautifully they have described. And coming to the statement of John Dewey, 1938, he says, there is an intimate and necessary relation between the process of actual experience and education. We all come to the colleges for getting education, for getting knowledge, to improve our skills, to build our capacity. And how much are we getting the actual experience? And when it comes to our job, are we really having the real experiences that is required for the job? So there are different ways of analyzing this experiential learning. So experiential learning is the application of the theory and academic content to real world experiences, either within the classroom, within the community, or within the workplace, which advances program or course based learning outcomes that are specifically focused on employability skills. So, coming to the different areas, so, experiential learning requires the student to not only engage in the experience activity, but also requires them to reflect upon their learning and how their skills learned through their academic studies can be applied beyond the classroom. So, we all need people who can act, right? Not only just learn from the class, but also how well are we at implementing our knowledge and skills outside the classroom. And when it comes to the workplace, we have experiences like internships, placements. So these all are different forms of experiential learning opportunity which are provided to the student. So typically we can divide these opportunities into three categories. One based on course focused, one based on community focused, and another one based on work focused. So giving students hands-on experiences not only in the classroom but also in the community and workplace. Okay, so in our education system, it is very important that we combine direct experience with focused reflection. So we see that four stages. It starts with experience, and then it goes through reflection, and then we understand or we generalize, and the fourth stage we apply. So experiential education builds on past knowledge and experiences. As the time goes, this knowledge is always accumulating and evolving and going through very dynamic processes and changes. And it requires active involvement in meaningful construction. It encourages collaboration and exchange of ideas and perspectives. See, now we all are in a global world. We are all connected through the technological advances. You can connect with any number of people across the globe, whoever is living in any continent, because we are able to exchange our ideas and our perspectives through technological advancement, and we encourage innovation, we encourage collaboration, and all this experiential education, it can be mainly on three focuses: one based on classroom, one based on community, and one based on work focused. And in the course, we focus on what are the strategies? Reflective learning activities. There could be many activities that can help improve the course. Then coming to the community focused. Community-based learning. You go to a village, you talk with the village panchayat president, you talk with the ward members, you get information about that particular village needs, assessments, problems, situations. You can ask them different resources of the village. So community service learning could be achieved with community focused experience. Coming to the workplace, you can either choose for placements, internship, co-op education, educational opportunities within across different colleges, right? So this is like a clearly explaining again about what are the course focus. These are experiential education strategies implemented within a course or classroom. These strategies allow the students to explore an issue, reflect on concrete experiences, make connections between those experiences and background knowledge of the theory and case studies, and come up with generalizations and deeper understanding of the issue. So there are various in-class learning activities such as role play, case studies, reflective portfolio, inviting guest speakers, arts-based learning, use of film, documentaries, concept mapping, research projects, simulation activities, lab work, workshops. I'm so sure that all of you have gone through different kinds of course focused activities, and all these aim at providing concrete information, particularly based on the course studies within the classroom. And the another one is based on the community focused. So these experiences range from observations and field notes on community events to conducting interviews of community members or professionals to field trips. I'm so sure you must have gone through different social awareness camps or programs, field trips, and visits to museums and sites of interest and relevance to your own particular course. So, in addition, this category includes any other international experiences built within the courses as well as participation in exchange programs abroad. So, when I was studying in my college, we had a compulsory internship program, and at that time most of them focused on getting work inside India. And I was thinking like, why don't we try to apply for an internship abroad, you know? So when the courage in my mind came to apply for an internship outside without having much experience, it is this kind of curiosity or the willingness to know something that which we don't know, something that which we want to experience, something in which we want to put ourselves in a community where we have not lived. So it helped me in getting to one of my first internship with an international organization in South Korea. So looking back now, I realized that it was not just on the basis of your academic qualifications, but rather based on your adaptive skills and your flexibility in getting into your particular learning environment and how much courage and risk that you are willing to take for your own life. So this kind of experiences you get from communities and students who are traveling to other countries and immersed in their communities, they have the unique opportunity to learn authentically and at a more profound level about cultures, community histories, global development issues, and international languages. There was a time when we Korean people don't know how to speak in English, and I don't know how to speak in Korean, but there was a language that in which we communicate, where I felt like we need the language of humanity more than the language that we speak. Sometimes we don't need language to communicate many things through your gestures, through your smile, through your human values. You are communicating so many things to people, and all these things you are learning by direct experience within a community. For example, students may visit a country to practice and deepen their learning of a foreign language or engage in activities that will allow them to acquire deep intercultural competence and understanding. So what I would like to say is be ready to immerse yourself in a place to get experience where in which something is new for us to learn. Okay, work focused. Placements provide the opportunity to students to apply what they have learned, theories and concepts, into practice related environment and provide relevant reflections of such work. Usually, placements are linked to professional programs and are known as practicum or fieldwork, as in the case of teacher education programs or social work, nursing, anthropology, law. And students are not being paid for their placement work, but they receive credit and therefore placements are evaluated. I hope all of you are aware about these work focused experiences in which you will be working like volunteers, but you will be getting a lot of experiences in that particular work field. So coming to the farm planning workshop for the agriculture economics students, Marine College is very much committed to the integral development of students by encouraging and allowing them to connect the theories learned in classroom with the practical experiences from real world scenarios. And the students of second year applied economics, and they have a core paper on agriculture economics, which aims to bridge the classroom learnings to the Indian perspective of the changing agriculture situations and its challenges. And when this program was conducted, it was very fascinating to know that it was the first time where most of the students attended a Grama Sabha. Grama Sabha is one of the most important decision-making body at the local self-government, the decentralized decision-making body. The Grama Sabha are a focal point of decision-making. So it was the first time experience for many of my students to attend the Grama Sabha, to talk with the Krishi Bhavan, it is the agriculture office, and they got direct chance to talk with the agriculture officer to know about what are the government schemes and what are the loopholes that is happening, how is it successful, and how far it is being implemented, what is the cost involved, who are benefited, and what are the problems they face from the side of bureaucracy, from the point of view of policymakers. So when students get an opportunity to go directly into their office, look what is happening, what is resources are provided to them by the government, to participate in the Ram Sabha. It was like a hands-on experience, right? Other than reading from the books. And after the office section and interaction with the panchayat and interaction with the agriculture office and officers, they got chance to attend the Ram Sabha, in which they were seeing how the decisions were taken among the community members. And it was very fascinating to see that most of the members were women. So they were asking where are the men participating in Gram Sabha. So there are questions arising in the students' mind when they are in the field. And field experience are very much involved. And after that, the students were taken to the family farm of farmers, where they got ample opportunity to interact with their family farmers, especially their traditional methods of preservation of food items, how the spices are being stored, how do they market their local products, how do they cultivate between cash crops and food crops, how do they do the multi-cropping, and what are the challenges the farmers face from the point of view of farmers side. Because the village officers or the agriculture officers, they tend to say that we are providing all these kinds of policies, schemes and benefits. But are they reaching the grassroots level? Because students have a question in their mind to ask it directly from the farmers. How is it happening? And since it was specific to the farm planning, they asked about the farmers who have been following the methods of farm planning. How do they produce the food in their farm? How do they make the resources available? What are the available water resources, the soil content, and how much are the distribution pattern of their products to the local market? So all these kinds of questions comes from within the students to directly ask to the family farmers. And in the evening, the students were divided into groups for discussing about their experiences. And here we give chances for them to explain through chart papers and discussions and exhibits. And they did the group activity and presentation. Through which we can say that the peer group learning, the student engagement, someone who knows much about the areas, they explain their experiences to the other person who don't have an idea about it. Because the students come from different backgrounds. Some of them may be from a village, some of them may be from a city. So in the peer group learning, it was a beautiful way of explaining and sharing of knowledge. So these things comes through experiences. If one's experiences can be shared to other students, and the students learn from their group members. And the next day, the students went for a trial farm planning section. They followed the official procedures. There was transit walk. First, they observed the different crops that is being grown in the farm, and they make the spray of it, and they map the different crops grown in the farm. They really do the marking, and they go through the SWOT analysis of strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And they also luckily got the opportunity to talk with the land honors of previous two generations, which was arranged, so they could hear from the history of the farm, who was owning the land during the past, and how much the quality of the land has been changed, the pattern of cropping has been changed, and how about the other socio-political conditions. So it is an awareness not just from the viewpoint of ecology, but also from socio-political concern as well. So then students were again divided into groups for concept refutation, then reporting and documentation, then they had a validation program, and finally reflection. So there are different stages of this experiential learning that helps the students to know more about their subjects. So this is what I would like to tell you. And lifelong learning requires the ability to learn from life experiences. And it could be from any field and it could be adapted to different kind of subjects in different manner. And most of the time we have been following in our own unique styles. So I have a video to show to you. Maybe I will show that in the later of the video. Once we make sure that we have enough time. So coming to the experiential learning theories, we know about the famous philosopher and researcher and the theorist David A. Cole. The focus of this experiential learning theory is on the individual learner and how he or she can use the concepts to enhance their lifelong learning processes. So there are many foundational scholars for this experiential learning: William James, Kurt Lewin, Carl Rogers, Carl Jung, Jean Piaget, Iller, Paulo Freire, Mary Parker, etc. So, learning is best conceived as a process, not in terms of outcomes. And all learning is relearning. Learning refers the resolution of conflicts between diametrically opposed modes of adaptation to the world. Okay. And it is also a holistic process of adaptation. It results from synergetic transactions between the person and the environment. And in this process, what happens? There is the process of creating the knowledge. And coming to the cycle, we see 4 stages. It is a process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. So knowledge results from the combination of grasping and transforming experiences. Please remember these two terms, grasping and transformation is very important. The experimental learning cycle is the central concept in this process where the learner touches all the bases. So the basic bases are experience, reflection, thinking and acting. Okay. So immediate or concrete experiences are the basis of observations and reflections. So if you go through some place, immediately you will have a visual memory, right? You will attract something to your visual sight. So all these forms the basis of observation and reflection. Later on, it will go to the reflection side. These reflections are assimilated and distilled into abstract concepts from which new implications for action can be drawn. These implications can be actively tested and serve as guidance in creating new experiences. So it has been summarized here. In this template cycle, you can see the first step is concrete experiences. It is received through the observation. And the second one, reflective observation. The third one, abstract conceptualization. And the fourth one, active experimentalization. So this learning cycle that we saw is a recurring circular process as opposed to the linear traditional information transformation of modern learning use in most education where just the information is being transferred from teacher to the learner. So earlier like the information is being in a traditional manner and now we have different concepts. The cycle of learning, learners receive information through experiencing and transform it by reflecting and thinking. Especially they are both receivers and creators of information. So the two dimensions that I told you to remember, the grasping dimension and the transforming dimension. The grasping dimension opposes two different ways of knowing the world. And in this grasping dimension, first is experiencing and thinking. And in experiencing, you will have a concrete experience, and in thinking, you will actually abstract the conceptualization. That means after the reflection, you will actually understand your experience in a new idea inside you. And the next dimension is the transforming dimension. It could be anything. It could be even this webinar. There are many things that could be grasping in your heart, and you might be later on transforming it in a later time. When you take the time to reflect about these contents that you have heard today, you might be transforming it into different levels. So reflecting in the transforming dimension opposes two modes of transforming experience: reflecting and acting. Reflecting, reflective observation, and acting for active experimentation. So, as I told in the initial stage, our life as a string of moments. So, perhaps inspired by the Theravada Buddhist image of moment, consciousness as a string of pearls, Daniel Kahneman has argued that our lives are made up of a succession of experiencing moments that you can just remember. If today is your birthday, is that a day different from all the other days? You might be experiencing an extraordinary happiness, right? Because it's a string of moments on a special day. An individual's life could be described at any practicable length as a string of moments. A common estimate is that each of these moments of psychological presence may last up to 3 seconds, suggesting that people experience some 20,000 moments in a waking day and upwards of 500 million moments in a 70-year life. Each moment can be given a rich, multi-dimensional description. What happens to these moments? The answer is straightforward. With very few exceptions, they simply disappear. So that's about the moments. So every day we have a choice, even to make a decision, even not necessarily making a decision itself is a choice, right? So these kind of experiences taken to our life is a lifelong process. The remembered thinking self is like a string that holds together the pearls of our experience. The pearls and string together form the story of our lives, what we think and feel and who we are. We base all our choices on this life story, but our life story is not always the best basis for decision making. The way that we remember our experiences is very different than the active process of experiencing. Our minds create illusions that impact how we remember experiences. So there are situations in which our mind can play on us. Mind can be illusions, which we might be feeling like, okay, this is the ultimate truth. Okay, so there are different examples. So most important thing is being aware of the experiencing process can help us use relevant experiences instead of illusions to guide our decisions. So that is the main point. How far we can choose relevant experiences. So as students, we should be knowing what is right and what is wrong, or what is good for people and what is bad for people. So the sensitivity on choosing, on decision making is very important when it comes to acquiring and reflecting and assimilating and transforming the experiences for a better action. The learning cycle integrates the experiencing self and thinking self through the transformation dimension of reflection and action. While the remembered self is inevitably a biased representation of the directly experienced self, it is nonetheless the basis on which we make most life choices and decisions. So, mindful cycling through the learning cycle can increase the confluence between the thinking and experiencing self. So, let's come to the strategies for lifelong learners. And we all want to be lifelong learners. And when we are, always in the academic community, we are always lifelong partners for learning. And what is special in this learning cycle? I hope all of you know about Oprah Winfrey. Who was she when she was young? And her life cycle is, she created her own life from her difficult situation. She created her own life. She has learned a lot of things. The key is to use this process of learning as a guide. Oprah Winfrey in 2006 says it well. I am a woman in process. I'm just trying like everybody else. I try to take every conflict, every experience and learn from it. Life is never done. So Oprah's ability to learn from experience cannot be denied. From a very young girl in rural Mississippi in the 1950s to talk show host, media entrepreneur, actress, Oprah keeps learning as she follows her ever expanding interest. So there are different ways. So experiencing is the gateway to learning, and all modes of learning are experiences. but it is here and now experiencing that initiates the learning. And every day we experience it, and behavior are notoriously conservative and automatic, being habitual and culturally mediated by concepts derived from many previous trips around the learning cycle. So I think something which is very important is we have to go through deep experiencing, such as when we are stuck with a problem or difficulty or struck by the strangeness of something outside of our usual experience. I think I'll take a break here, and I would like to show you the video because otherwise it will be too much theoretical for all of you. I'll just stop sharing and I'll show you the video. Please kindly wait. Please let me know whether you are able to see the screen.
Yes, ma'am, we are able to see the screen.
Yes, madam. Good afternoon.
Yes, sister.
কি লগাই থৈছে ভিডিঅ' চিডিঅ'
এইটো কি লগাই থৈছে বুজি পোৱা নাই
Yes, sister. He's here. Excuse you, sir. Huh? Okay, then let me go.
যাব হৈছে
Thank you all for watching the long video. Let
जस
me
भैया
continue with
मदर
the
ऑफिस में छोड़ के गया है मोबाइल
slide. Yes, so here I hope the video was like visible and audible to all of you. I hope so. It was specific to the course outcome course focus, experiential learning for the students of agriculture economics. And the insights from the workshop was really great from the student side and also as a faculty. It was a good learning process for all of us together in connecting the theories that we learn in the classroom with the practical knowledge that we get by basically by asking questions and using all our different senses to get the answers for all our questions. So we need to have deep experiencing practices. So there are other ways besides show and awe to strive a momentary concrete experience from its gender habitual basis. The practices of deep facilitate deliberate learning by empowering the experiencing self. So focusing on here and now experiencing and mindful cycling through the learning cycle can increase the confluence between the thinking and experiencing self. So when it comes to the um, David Cobb's theory, he focuses mainly on different ways of getting the experiences, and most of the time, every individual prefer to own his own style, his or her own style. They have to find out their own specific style of learning to find out their true potential. The practice of mindfulness also helps to overcome automaticity and to reach direct, pure experience through mindful awareness and attention. Meditative mindfulness is the core of Buddhist meditation, advocating the development of mindfulness through the discipline of anchoring the mind in the present moment. So there are different ways on how to, have a proper mindfulness, which is very important for reflection and through which you will have assimilation of the ideas and knowledges in your mind. Regarding focusing, using juggling, a phenomenal philosopher who developed a philosophy of implicit knowing, worked with Carl Rogers at the University of Chicago in the 1950s, isolating the client's process of experiencing as the key transformative aspect of therapy. So it is very important that when you are focusing on the kind of experience, you need to focus on the most relevant experience that is needed for your particular choice. And we create ourselves by learning. An accident of birth brings us into poverty or privilege, yet many have risen from the lowest to the highest rungs of society by choosing to see their conditions as a challenge. We have seen the example of Oprah, right? So while many of the most privileged have squandered their riches through indifference, so it is also a duty to create the best out of our situations and be the best version of who we are. The spiral of learning and adult development. In the experiential learning theory, adult development occurs through learning from experience. This is based on the idea that the experiential learning cycle is actually a learning spiral. When a concrete experience is enriched by reflection, given meaning by thinking, and transformed by action, the new experience created becomes richer, broader, and deeper. And Carl Jung has a model in which he defines three stages: one of acquisition, one of specialization, and one of integration in mid career. The acquisition is from birth to adolescence, where basic abilities and cognitive structures are developed. Specialization comes from formal schooling through the early work and personal experiences of adulthood, where social, educational, and organizational socialization forces shape the development of a particular specialized learning style. Integration in mid and later life, where non-dominant modes of learning are expressed in work and personal life. So let's see some strategies for lifelong learners. And practice makes perfect. Practice is not just the amount of time doing something. So experience with something alone is not a good predictor of performance. Practice involves comparison with a mental model or explicit outcome. So it is actually a mastery journey as path that follows a recurring cycle of brief spurts of progress followed by dips of performance and a plateau of performance that is slightly higher than before, where nothing seems to be happening until the next go. So in the literature, in Mastery, George Willard describes it's a mastery's journey. So exercise appropriate time framing. So time framing is also very important in the progression of learning cycle over the time. A key to learning success is the establishment of the appropriate time frame expectations for its achievement. And self-making and the development of interest. The spiral of learning is applicable not only to the development of specific skills and subject matter, but it also applies to self-development in general. Self-development proceeds through the identification and development of a person's interest. So a person only knows themselves the best. So you are your own best friend, and it is your own duty to find out the best version in you. And as we have seen, the learning styles describe the unique ways that spiral through the learning cycle based on their preference for the four different learning. So many people have different preferences. So one person has to find out their preferential model of how to learn. What is their learning style? They have to find it out by themselves. For some people, it could be through visual media. Some people it could be through reading. Some people it could be through peer group learning or engagement discussions. So there are different manners, different styles of learning. And because of one's gentle nature, particularly life experiences and the demands of the present environment, a preferred way of choosing among these four learning modes is developed. The conflict between being concrete or abstract and between being active or reflective is resolved in pattern characteristics. So each individual has their own learning style, and it is often influenced by culture, personality type, educational specialization, career choice, current job, and the different tasks involved. So there are different learning styles and learning spaces, which involves initiating, experiencing, imagining, reflecting, balancing, acting, designing, thinking, and analyzing. So there are different learning spaces involved, especially it exists in the experience of the learner, and it is owned both by objective factors such as the physical setting and time available for learning, and subjective factors such as learning preferences and expectations. Okay. Strategies for lifelong learners, developing the capacity for experiencing,
Folder we have to
developing the
give
capacity for
in the WhatsApp
reflecting,
group.
developing the capacity for thinking, developing the capacity for action, increase your learning
Like you have the
flexibility,
meaning and time.
customize the learning
So that
spaces, and the learning identity. And in this learning identity, I would like to show some inform something important. Certain characteristics like reinforce a fixed self. Like we need to avoid negative self-talk, avoidance of risk and failure, being threatened by the success of others. Whereas others build a learning self, trusting one's ability to learn from experience, seeking new experiences and challenges, persistence, learning from mistakes, and using others' success as a source of inspiration. So you can design one situation in different ways. It depends upon how do you look into that particular situation, your learning identity. It can be in a positive manner or it can be in a negative manner. For example, the negative manner could be the self-talks, oh, I'm not good, I can't take risks, I'm threatened by others' success, things like that. Whereas you can also build a positive self by trusting on your ability to learn from experience, that you have a interest in getting new experience and challenges and learn from mistakes. Okay, nobody is perfect, and we all can learn from each step through different people, through our own mistakes, learning from mistakes, and even using others' success as a source of learning. So to develop your learning identity with below some ways to overcome your fixed self characteristics and improve your learning identity characteristics, thus keeping the balance between a balance toward becoming a learner. So it is very important. And one among that main point is trust the process of learning from experience. Place experience at the center of your learning process. Make it a focal point of your choices and decisions. Reassess your beliefs about how you learn and what you are good at. So we often need to reassess our own beliefs because we are what we think, and what we think are actually what we are becoming, right? So it is important to consciously reflect on and choose how you define yourself as a learner. Often people are unaware of the way in which they characterize themselves and their abilities. So monitor the message you send yourself. What are the daily messages that I'm communicating to my own self? Redefine our relationship. What is my approach towards failure? Control emotional responses to learn from failure. Balance success and failure. Learn from the relationships. Appreciate the diversity of interactions for the potential to contribute to your learning. And it is very helpful if you can have the opportunity for diverse interactions. Even the cultural exchange program that Don Bosco College and Marine College is organizing right now, here we are able to see the diverse interaction of people from different parts, people from different cultures. We are trying to get into those and trying to understand from their perspectives, because it is a new knowledge, and every connection holds the potential for learning, and you never know who will positively contribute to your learning. Always be open to learning from others, regardless of their status relative to yours. So we have seen the different ways in which experiential learning theory is going on. It is a cycle of learning from experience. We can see the spiral of learning and development. There are different learning styles, learning spaces, learning identity, learning relationships, in order to provide a guide for living life by the learning way. So experiential way of learning is a lifelong process. In conclusion, we offer options for future research in lifelong learning through this experience. And it is actually like an inquiry. We all have some curiosity to know about life, right? And inquiry into the different questions in our own life makes us to question, like how do we have the strategies for, to adapt to a particular situation, because we are from different backgrounds, and first we need to have self-awareness about how we can go through our own situation. So it is very important we need to have experiences, and all experiences add on to our real life situations, and we need to learn from it. Also, a growing body of evidence demonstrates that individuals' metacognitive processes, their thinking about their own thinking, impact their ability to effectively learn from experience. So I would like to conclude by saying that it is our experience is our best teacher, and never be shy away from any of the experiences that comes to our life. And we all need to be brave and strong enough to face all the environments in which we are put into. And always remember about the wildflowers. All often the wildflowers in the woods often inspires me, because it always says we never know where it blooms. And like the wildflowers, we must allow ourselves to bloom in the places where people thought we want to. So I hope all of you are able to learn or something, understand from my experience sharing from the small session. And thank you for being a good listener. And I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Sister Sheila and also Dr. Yusuf for giving me an opportunity to share my experiences. And thank you all for being a wonderful audience. And over to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an informative session on experiential learning. I'm sure all the participants are highly benefited. So, thank you once again.
Thank you.
And so, I would like to inform all our participants that our third session has come to an end, but now we have our next session, that is cultural program. And I'm really grateful to see that many students are willing to take active part on this event. So I would like to invite Ms. Rimi and Ms. Banya to carry on with the cultural exchange program. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, Ms. Rimi, you are audible.
Hello, everyone. I, Rimi Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science, Don Bosco College, Golaghat, along with Banya Kasturi Datta, Assistant Professor, Department of Education, Don Bosco College, Golaghat, heartily welcome you to the Cultural Exchange Program organized by IQAC, Don Bosco College, Golaghat, in collaboration with Marian College, Kuttikana.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you make my ID as co-host, Jodi Jose?
Yes, okay.
I think Lalita ma'am.
Yes, 1 second. Jyoti Jose. Why not Jyoti Jose?
যদি তো আছে
Code.
অঁ কৰি আছোঁ
Oh, Pali.
অঁ কৰি আছোঁ অঁ কৰি আছোঁ হ'ল। হেল্ল'
Cool, hello.
অঁ তাহাঁতি ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰিব প্ৰথমতে
Cool, hello.
অঁ ঠিক আছে অঁ হ'ব they will start first Nicholas.
I can't get these people, no?
Where they have put in remember it.
It is a cultural program too. Supposedly এটা ভাঙা পঢ়া মানে এজন ষ্টুডেণ্টক মাজত একো গেপ দিব দেই কিবা এটা ক'ব আৰু তেতিয়া মানে মই ৰেডি হৈ থাকিম এইফালে নেক্সট ভিডিঅ' মানে মাজত পষ্ট দিব মানে গেপ দিব দেই অকণমান ঠিক আছে co-host বনাই দিছিলোঁ
Ma'am, are we starting now?
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Okay. I was just waiting for.
Okay.
Okay, one sec. Sorry. You made me co-host because.
Yes,
Bonala.
you are now the co-host.
Let me check. I cannot see it there. Yeah, I can share. Okay, fine. Yeah. A warm good afternoon from Marian College once again. Today we are here with some of the culture programs performed by our students. First of all, we want to apologize as it is at some time we couldn't organize much programs conducted by our students. But what we have done is we thought of sharing some of the traditional cultural arts of Kerala so that you will get familiar with at least few of the things. The Kerala is a rich state with so much cultural heritage and we have so many arts forms. But what we have considered is we considered few of the performance done by our students in previous year in the youth festivals, which includes the traditional forms. Along with that, we have some of the recent programs performed by the students and which is shared through videos. So, just to give a glimpse about the traditional culture of Kerala, it's the God's own country. It's famous for its traditional arts, cultural forms, and sometimes referred as the